All right, how's it going? Got a interesting video today. This is a little bit outside of what I normally do on videos and whatnot. Normally I cover like fidgets and spinners and stuff like that, but I really am into knives and more so the fidget aspect of knives. So I feel like it's kind of fitting to do a knife video because mostly every knife I buy, if it's not something I think is super fidgetable, I usually don't buy it. So I kind of am in a weird spot, I guess. Like if you're comparing me to other knife guys, like I'm not super knowledgeable on knives. I know the basics, you know. I follow my buddy Kev over at Lefty EDC. He's pretty much my go-to knife guru. I just ask him questions about stuff and get recommendations or whatever. But so yeah, I guess overview of knives comes a lot from the fidget direction, I guess I could say. So yeah, super interesting knives I have on the table here. These are the Brown FSDs. If you're into knives, you know that these are pretty rare, pretty hard to get. I mean, you can get them on secondary, but you're going to pay a lot. They are some of the dopest mid-tech knives out there, and I just kind of got familiar with what a mid-tech is, which I guess is like a knife that some of the parts come and then it's assembled by the maker versus like the maker making every part themselves, which is like a custom. So these are what are classified as mid-techs. So let's pull them out of the box. This is the box they come in. I just wanted to show that. It comes in a really nice hard plastic case. And you'll see, obviously, if you've been looking at the screen, I have two of them here, which is, you know, giga rare. But let's put this over here. The reason I have two is because I had been hunting for one of these for a while. I saw them on Kev's channel, and I was like, that's a knife I freaking have to have, man. These are incredible. So I saw Kev's videos. I watched every video he did on this knife. This is actually Kev's FSD right here. This one's not mine. And funny enough, he ended up sending this to me to check out, which is super cool of him, you know, to send something this rare and, you know, frankly expensive. You know, and trusting, you know, that it's going to get here and that, you know, I'm not going to bash it into a wall or something like that, which of course, you know, I always take care of stuff people sends me, especially if it's not mine. But so as he mailed me his, I found one on Reddit. So I ended up picking it up, and so now I have both. This one's going to go back to Kev this week. You know, it's been cool to have both of them, and I wanted to compare them because I did find some minor differences between the two. But yeah, bottom one is Kev's, Lefty EDC's, top one's mine in purple. So first let's just go over the knife in general. I'm going to use mine because I think it's prettier than Kev's, but Kev's definitely has some advantages. So I guess I could talk about the material on this knife. I'm not an expert on like knife steel or whatever. Like I know what's good steel and what's bad steel. Like I know M390 is good. I know like CPM 154 or whatever CV is good. I know that D2 kind of sucks. So I have a general understanding of knife steel, but definitely a noob on that end. So I believe this is in 154, and it's titanium scales. This is obviously anodized with the purple, and I've got like just the line pattern on mine, and doesn't have a lanyard hole. This was a knife I had to make an exception for. There's very few knives that I will make an exception for not having a lanyard hole because I love beads and lanyards so much, but this was one I made an exception for. So without rambling any further, here is the action. And what makes this knife so fidgetable is a few different things. So one is the opening method. So you really have three different opening methods with this knife. So I'll show you opening method number one. That is with the fuller. So you've got the fuller down here. You can get a really nice reverse flick on this fuller right here. And then the other aspect that makes it super fidgetable, since I'm about to show you anyway, is this freaking button lock, man. This button lock is phenomenal. You just press this button and watch this freaking guillotine action we got here. Look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. It is so fun to play with that button. And honestly, the button isn't really, this is more like a lefty button. Like if you think about it, like this button is right here if I'm a lefty, and I can just press it with my thumb. That's probably one of the reasons why Kev loves this knife so much, is that it's basically a lefty button lock. For a righty, it works by, you just would use your index finger, so, really easy to access as well, versus being on the left side. But back to the opening method. So you've got the Fuller, you can thumb it, you can reverse flick it, so that, and then you can, rear flip it here with the tab. So you've got the rear flipper tab. Super satisfying opening. It's really difficult to explain how satisfying that is. And then on top of that, you've got this drop shut action with the button that just makes everything just magic. And then you've also got the front flipper. So front flippers are something I've been super into lately. More recently, I actually just picked up this TW Price Dawn, which is a front flipper that I absolutely love to death. We're not doing a video on this knife, but I just love front flippers right now, and this is something I've been carrying like daily because it's just such a great knife. This knife, not so much. It's a little big and also expensive, so I don't really want to be like carrying it around or whatever. But back to the front flip action on this knife. So you just get your thumb right here, and I like to follow this line. So if you see this little line here in the top here with a front flipper, if you just follow that, you get a very, very nice opening. You can also kind of go over the top here and just kind of like get it like that. And then you could also get like a really powerful one. Let's see if I can do it on camera. Like if you really crank down on this thing, you get a powerful front flip, which I love. So not only does it have a front flipper, but I feel like it has several different ways to open it with the front flipper just alone. So one of my criteria kind of when I'm buying a knife is like, does it have several opening methods? Because I like fidgeting. How's the action? Is it drop shutty? Is it a shaker? This one fits in all those boxes that I like. Just missing the lanyard, so I'm gonna have to just get over that. But yeah, let's talk about the differences between Kev's knife and my knife. So number one, my knife, for whatever reason, and I think it has to do with the scales and the pattern, it's just like, they're slightly different. Mine actually weighs a gram more, which feels super weird because his actually feels heavier than mine, but mine is slightly heavier. But let me show you the differences between his and mine, and I'll have to kind of shut up for a second. So let's listen to the action on mine when it closes. And then let's listen to Kev's. So Kev's knife, hold on, let's listen to this real quick. Different sound. You hear that opening sound? A lot different than mine. Louder. So when his slaps close like that, it makes a much different sound. It's I don't know if you're catching it on the video, but his is definitely more audible, both on the open and on the close. So that's one thing that I would have to give the nod to on his knife. I like the sound better on his knife than I do on mine. And then the other difference that I noticed is this. So see if I can capture this on video. Open up both knives here. So my button is taller than his button. So if it's pretty clear on the camera. The bottom the bottom knife, my knife, has a much larger button, or it's not larger in like diameter, it just protrudes more. I guess I should say that. So see how Kev's is like pretty close to the scale, while mine sticks out a ton. And I've been trying to figure out why that is, and I think I kind of get it. So when I'm using this knife in my hand and I'm gripping it, I can definitely feel that button, but no matter how hard I grip, I can't squeeze it down enough to make it like to make this knife close on me, right? So I'm squeezing it right now, and this knife is not moving at all. Probably the same with Kev's. I haven't really tried to see if I can push it down while it's in hand. Let's give it a quick try. So squeezing it hard as I can. Yeah, I'm not really able to. So, you know, I don't know if it makes that big of a difference, to be honest. But I definitely enjoy the button on mine more. So nod to my knife in this situation. It just makes it so it's just, you feel it, you get your finger on it, you push it down, and it closes. So that's that. As far as the patterns, right? So I like this pattern a little bit more than I like my pattern. I think these little squares look kind of cool, or a little bit cooler than the straight lines. But where my knife, I think, really lands for me is this purple anodization. I love these purple scales. They are fantastic. I love purple. You could probably see my purple bit driver over here that's all colored out or whatever. I love purple, pink. I love all those types of colors. So this is my jam. The other difference is that mine is a distressed pattern. So if you see like the scales, they look worn. So this, I actually looked this up, you know, prior to buying it, because I asked the seller, because he's asking so much for it. I was like, hey man, did you like carry that a ton? Like, why are the scales looking like worn? And then he gave me the number of the knife, and I looked it up on Brian Brown's website, and I noticed that this was actually, you know, pre-distressed. So this is a distressed pattern. Cool part about that is I actually probably could carry this and not feel too bad about the wear, because it's already worn, in case I sell it. Which at some point I might. This knife is just so expensive. I don't know that I could actually, in good conscience, keep it. I really want to though. So we'll see. I couldn't see myself parting with it right now, but you know, if something major popped up or whatever, I would have to list it. But yeah, the distressed pattern, I like it. I don't know if I would like, you know, non-distressed more, maybe, but I'm totally cool with the distressed pattern. Oh, and then lastly, it's definitely running on skiffs. So Kev told me what skiffs to put into this knife, so I did. This was the easiest knife I had ever disassembled in my life. I would do it right now, but I just don't feel like taking it apart. But it's literally just that screw and that screw. Scale pops off. I popped off the freaking the bearings it came with, and then I popped the skiffs on, put it back together, and boom, it was done. It was the fastest swap I'd ever done, and it was super easy. So this knife definitely gets a lot of points for, you know, being able to, you know, swap, you know, the bearings out and take it apart super easily, clean it, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want this video to go on for so long. I just wanted to compare these two before I sent this back to Kev. Kev, you're the homie for sending this out. Super cool of you to do that. I'll make sure to send you back some cool fidgets and stuff to check out from my collection. So that's it. Everybody have a fantastic day.